Quick question. When you hear the word Spider-Man video game, what pops into your head first? Probably Insomniac's PS5 games. Maybe the Spider-Verse animated movies. Maybe even that old PS2 game you definitely still have muscle memory for. But I bet almost nobody's first thought is a tabletop role-playing game. And that's exactly why this news slipped past most people's radar. Marvel just confirmed a brand new expansion for the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. And this one is fully dedicated to Spider-Man. It's called Midtown Mayhem, and it's dropping on September 22nd, 2026. That date matters more than it looks. It lands just a few months after Spider-Man Brand New Day hits theaters, which means Marvel is clearly building a release calendar where the movie, the comics, and the tabletop game all feed into each other. This isn't a random side project. This is a coordinated media push, and Spider-Man happens to be the test case. So let's actually talk about what this game is, because if you're not part of the tabletop crowd, this whole thing might sound a little niche. The Marvel Multiverse role-playing game, or MMORPG for short, is a full tabletop system built from the ground up around Marvel characters. It runs on something called the D616 system, designed by Matt Forbeck, and the entire pitch is simple. You and your friends build characters, sit around a table, and actually become Marvel heroes for a few hours. Not watch them, not control them with a controller. Become them, with dice, deciding whether your web shot lands or your uppercut connects. This isn't the game's first outing either. Since launch, it's already had expansions for the X-Men, the Avengers, and even a full Spider-Verse expansion covering variants like Miles Morales, Ghost Spider, and Spider-Man 2099. So Midtown Mayhem isn't introducing Spider-Man to this universe. It's giving him his own dedicated one-shot adventure, separate from the broader Spider-Verse book. Now here's where it actually gets interesting. The plot. Midtown Mayhem centers on a gang war breaking out between Tombstone and the Hand, right in the middle of Manhattan. And to handle that mess, Marvel isn't just sending in Spider-Man. They're pairing him with the Hulk. Peter Parker and Bruce Banner thrown into the same conflict, which, if you know anything about how differently these two characters solve problems, is basically a built-in comedy generator and a built-in disaster generator at the same time. And this is the part that got me raising an eyebrow. Look at the cover art for this book. It's Spider-Man, the Hulk, and the Hand, all in one frame. Now look at what we know about Brand New Day, the movie releasing right before this book. That film has been suspiciously quiet about who its actual villain is. We've seen a chaotic mix of characters teased, but no clear antagonist confirmed. So there's a real possibility that this tabletop adventure is quietly previewing plot threads from the movie itself. Maybe not a direct retelling, but enough overlap that fans running this campaign in September might recognize story beats before they even see them play out on screen. Marvel has done sneaky cross-media hints like this before, so it wouldn't be out of character. Let's talk creators for a second, because the team behind this book is genuinely stacked. The adventure itself is written by Matt Forbeck, the same designer behind the entire D616 system. So he knows exactly how to build an encounter that actually plays well at a table instead of just looking good on paper. And the book comes with a comic prologue written by Cody Ziglar. If that name sounds familiar, he's the writer behind the newer Spider-Punk comics and the Miles Morales Spider-Man relaunch, and he's actually an Emmy nominee for his TV writing work. So this isn't Marvel phoning in a quick cash grab. They brought in someone who clearly understands Spider-Man's voice and put him on the connective tissue between the comic and the game. Now let's zoom out, because Midtown Mayhem isn't dropping in isolation. Marvel has an entire release pipeline going right now. Just before this, on August 18th, they're launching the Secret Wars expansion, which throws players in a battle world, a shattered fusion of the entire multiverse ruled by a God-Emperor version of Doctor Doom. And if you're the type who likes getting hands on before buying, Marvel actually previewed a chunk of that Secret Wars content during Free RPG Day back in June, along with free downloadable character sheets and a quick start guide. So there's already a low-risk way to test the system before committing to a full book. Compared to some of the other expansions, Midtown Mayhem is actually one of the more affordable entries. It's a 64-page book priced at $15, which puts it well below a full-length expansion, but it's clearly not meant to replace the full Spider-Verse book. Think of it less as a complete Spider-Man sourcebook and more as a self-contained mission, something you can run in a single session or two, which honestly makes it a great entry point if you've never played a tabletop RPG before and Spider-Man happens to be your gateway character. It's also worth being honest about how this whole system has been received because it hasn't been universal praise. Some critics have genuinely loved it, with one reviewer calling it one of the best tabletop games they played that year, specifically praising how it captures the feeling of actually being a superhero with real Marvel-level powers. But others have pushed back, arguing the game can feel stiff, a bit too gimmicky, and missing some of the heart that makes tabletop storytelling special. So if you're on the fence, that mixed reception is probably the most useful piece of context here. This clearly isn't a system everyone agrees on, which honestly makes it more interesting to actually try for yourself and form your own opinion. So here's the actual takeaway. Whether or not Midtown Mayhem ends up mirroring Brand New Day's plot, Marvel is clearly using Spider-Man as the anchor point for its entire multiverse RPG lineup right now. Movie in theaters, comic on shelves, and a tabletop adventure built around the same core conflict, all releasing within months of each other. If you're a Marvel fan who's never touched a tabletop RPG, this might genuinely be the easiest and cheapest entry point Marvel has ever offered. Let me know down in the comments if you've actually played the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game before, and whether you think Tombstone and the Hand are actually going to show up in Brand New Day, or if that's just a coincidence. If you want more breakdowns like this the moment new Marvel content drops, you know exactly what to do. See you in the next one.